I know of to specify which ship it went on.
Okay. I was disappointed that we weren't able to identify what ship it came off of. So how much is it worth?
As Rick knows, I don't give you prices. That's not the role of a museum. What I can do is tell you whether the history is correct on it, whether the materials are correct. But the value is not something that I set. Well, that's something I'm sure you're going to go back to the pawn shop and work out among yourselves.
Okay.
You know, but it's a very nice piece. It's in good shape. You're lucky to save it from the dump.
Yes, sir.
I know we were all hoping that the spyglass came off a World War II battleship, but it's still a nice piece of World War II memorabilia, and I'm still interested. Earlier, a guy brought in 2 knives from World War II. One had a handle that was replaced, and the other one I don't think was ever issued by the military. So to help me find the answers, I called in an expert in military-edged weapons.
Good afternoon, Rick. How you doing,
Dean,
sir?
how's it going? These are the knives I called you about?
Oh, wow. I'm an expert in antique U.S. military-edged weapons. What I really love about the collecting of them is all of the many, many variations, manufacturers, and all of the different types of knives and the functions of those knives.
This one, he says, is a military knife, but I've just never seen anything like this in a military knife before. And the problem I have with this one is, I believe it's United States Navy. It's just the condition of this blade, and this is definitely not the original handle.
Well, let's start with the smaller of the 2 knives. This particular knife, the blade, it is definitely World War II. The intent was for these knives to be issued to every Navy sailor as a general-purpose utility knife. And the blade has been cleaned, and this obviously is not the original handle. This handle is made out of stag or antler. You see a lot of this with knives that came home with servicemen, and they did what was called theater modifications. Sometimes people call this trench art. The soldiers would, when they had time between battles and skirmishes, they would alter their equipment to suit their individual taste with whatever materials were around. Now, about this knife. Okay, it's a Kinfolks manufactured knife. This knife is very definitely a military issue knife. It was part of the bailout kits that was attached to the parachute harnesses for airmen. The intent of the knife was to be an all-purpose knife, but primarily a jungle survival knife for the bailout crews, should they have to bail out of the plane.
So what are they worth?
Well, the Mark I, if it were being collected or handled as a collectible U.S. military knife, you would want the original condition or the patina that it acquired as original, but this is not. Might be worth $50 to $75.
Okay.
I don't think that you're going to see much more than that. If that knife were in original condition, it'd be worth twice that much. This knife, in this condition, it's been sharpened, but it's been carefully sharpened. I would say that this knife is worth somewhere between $400 and $600 at auction. That is a great knife.
Well, thanks for coming in, Dean. Really
Thank you.
This is why I call in experts, because without him, I would have probably bought the theater knife and let the Kinfolks knife walk right out the door.
I need to strike a fair deal with you.
Okay. This one, I don't
Okay.
want. You know.
Really? It doesn't interest you at all?
No. I don't know when this was done.
Okay.
It's in lousy condition.
Right.
If it had the original handle to go along with the blade, I would take it. And you didn't decide to do your own restoration work?
All right.
Okay. Okay, this one, however, I do want.
Okay.
Okay, so how much do you want for it?
Let's start at 600.
Let's not.
All right. Well, let's start at, let's do 5. Let's do
Let's not
500.
that either.
Really?
And he said I could sell it probably for between $400 and $600.
All right, so you're saying 400 and 600. All right, I'll go down to $400.
Okay, and we'll give you $200 for it.
My grandfather had to bring this back.
Yeah, but we know what your grandfather paid for it.
I know, we know that. So let's do